Have you ever felt out of place in a world that seems to value everything backwards? Society sells us an idea of success and relationships that for many makes no sense. It tells us to seek others' approval, fit into molds, climb hierarchies. But what if there was a way to live that goes against all that? At Sigma Male Official, we explore those not-so-popular truths that few dare to say out loud. Today, I'll talk about a type of man who challenges all those norms, someone who doesn't follow the path of alphas or betas, but walks alone, fearlessly, with an independence that mystifies everyone. This man, the Sigma, isn't swayed by the desire to belong, and this makes him powerful and enigmatic. I'll show you the traits of this man, how he thinks, how he acts, and what makes him so different. Perhaps, as you read, you'll find you have more in common with him than you thought. I invite you to stay until the end, because I'm sure what you learn here will change your perspective. And if you feel that this knowledge can help you live with more freedom and authenticity, I encourage you to subscribe to Sigma Male Official so we can keep exploring this fascinating path together, independence over hierarchy. It's curious how some men have decided to step away from traditional social structures, isn't it? While most seek to stand out, climb ranks, or be the center of attention, this particular kind of man moves in the opposite direction, almost like a lone wolf in a jungle of social rules. His independence defies convention and seems even uncomfortable for many. Why? Because society has instilled a sense of hierarchy that for some is unbreakable. However, this man knows that true connections don't rely on titles or positions. They depend on something much deeper, a personal value that few understand. To some, this might seem like arrogance or even a sort of disdain for social structure. But if you look closely, you'll see it's something much simpler: personal freedom. Instead of spending time worrying about rankings and titles, he invests his energy in cultivating what truly matters. It's as if, in his world, the rules apply to others, while he follows his own compass. If you're looking for a practical example, imagine someone who, instead of seeking recognition on social media or at work, prefers to spend time in activities that genuinely nourish his spirit, like reading, meditating, or developing personal skills. And the most interesting part is his ability to disappear at the least expected moment. He doesn't say goodbye or bother to explain his reasons. He simply leaves when he feels he's fulfilled his purpose, leaving others confused or even a bit annoyed. This action isn't contempt. It's simply a show of his freedom of movement, a constant reminder that no one controls his decisions. This ability to vanish without warning isn't meant to hurt or leave a mark, but to keep his independence intact. Can you imagine having that same freedom without anything or anyone binding you to a place or situation? Disappearing acts. Have you ever met someone who doesn't seem to need others' validation? It's rare, isn't it? In a world where almost everyone seeks approval, the Sigma male stands out for his disinterest in being popular or recognized. For him, true satisfaction isn't found in a cheering crowd, but in those moments of deep, authentic connection, free from embellishments. While others strive to impress, he prefers to stay in the background, observing without needing to be seen. This stance doesn't mean he doesn't value people. It's just that he doesn't need external validation to feel complete. This detachment from popularity can surprise those who don't understand his mindset. Why wouldn't he want to be admired? Why avoid compliments? Because he knows the constant pursuit of approval is a trap that drains energy and distracts from what truly matters. Instead of seeking recognition, he invests his time in meaningful activities that nourish his essence, not his ego. To apply this in your life, you could start dedicating time to developing a skill without thinking of others' approval. Imagine how liberating it would be to improve at something solely for the pleasure of it, expecting nothing in return. Often, this man listens to the superficial conversations around him with a slight head tilt, as if the words bounce off without really reaching him. And to him, not all topics deserve attention. Rather than engaging in empty dialogues, he prefers to conserve his energy and time for exchanges that are genuinely worthwhile. This habit may seem indifferent or even arrogant, but in reality, it's a tool of self-preservation. How about trying something similar? The next time you're in a trivial conversation, try selective listening, focusing only on what truly adds value. Rejection of popularity. It's no secret that most people prefer to be at the center of things, actively participating in everything going on. However, the Sigma male takes a different stance. He observes more than he acts. From the shadows, he can pick up on details others would miss. To someone unaccustomed to his style, this might seem like disinterest or lack of initiative, but the truth is that his observational ability allows him to understand and analyze the world from a more complete perspective. It's as if he has a deeper vision, as if by talking less, he manages to see more. This observational approach has its own charm, and in reality is a source of wisdom. Imagine being in a meeting or group. Instead of intervening non-stop, you could try taking on the role of the observer. As you become a sponge for what happens around you, you start to notice nuances, gestures, and silences others may ignore. This is a valuable lesson. Observing allows you to learn quietly, cultivating knowledge only those with patience and self-control can acquire. Additionally, his ability to keep his emotions private gives him an air of impenetrable calm. While others show their feelings immediately, he's learned to shield his inner self. It's not that he doesn't feel, but he's developed a kind of emotional shield. Life has taught him that sometimes keeping control is the best defense in a world that constantly tests our emotions. Can you imagine being able to master your own emotions in this way? It would be like having an internal refuge that only you can access, protecting your peace and balance. Selective listening. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Sigma male is his reduced yet extremely authentic social circle. Unlike those who seek to surround themselves with many, he understands that the quality of relationships is much more valuable than the quantity. His friends are few, but those few truly know him, without masks or appearances. Every relationship in his life has a purpose and is based on mutual loyalty and respect. Instead of attending every social event, he prefers to spend time with those who truly matter. This approach protects him from superficiality and allows him to cultivate connections that genuinely nourish his life. Imagine how different your life would be if, instead of seeking to accumulate acquaintances, you focused on deepening your most authentic friendships. This is the Sigma male's secret. He doesn't need a large number of friends to feel complete. He values depth over breadth. You could start by identifying relationships that truly add to your life and dedicating more time and attention to them. It's not about exclusion, but about carefully choosing who you share your energy with, protecting your personal and emotional space. Another trait of this kind of man is his emotional independence. He doesn't rely on others for his well-being, which allows him to face life with unique strength. His happiness and stability don't depend on external validations. He's learned to nourish himself internally, creating a sort of sanctuary where he finds peace. This emotional autonomy makes him a solid and centered person, capable of facing adversity without losing himself. Wouldn't it be freeing to reach that level of independence, where the external loses its power over your well-being? Observant nature. The Sigma male possesses a quality that baffles many, his ability to value independence over any form of hierarchy. While others strive to climb, hold important positions, or be recognized, he simply follows his own path, unattached. This independence allows him to make decisions aligned with his principles without feeling pressured by others' expectations. For him, freedom is the greatest achievement, and he feels fully fulfilled by not depending on conventional structures to define his identity. It's as if he has his own internal compass, one few come to understand. When someone understands this way of being, they discover immense power in not needing validation from any authority. Imagine for a moment having the strength to follow your own ideals, regardless of others' opinions. This man lives that way. If something doesn't resonate with his values, he simply leaves it behind. This is a lesson that can be applied daily, from choosing friendships that truly respect your principles to setting clear boundaries at work. True freedom, the Sigma male seems to tell us, is the ability to say no when something doesn't align with you. This approach might lead others to view him as difficult or incomprehensible. But in reality, he's decided that he won't let anyone manipulate his decisions or make him feel inferior. The strength that radiates from his independence is so powerful that even without trying, he commands respect around him. It's not about being rude or inaccessible, but about setting clear boundaries to prevent others from invading his space. Can you imagine living with that kind of self-assurance, where others' thoughts don't affect your inner peace? Emotional reserve. The Sigma male's tendency to disappear without warning may seem strange to some, but it's actually a manifestation of his desire for freedom and self-management. To him, there's no need to say goodbye every time he feels the need to withdraw. He simply leaves, like a breeze that passes by quietly. This attitude may come across as insensitive, but at its core, it reflects his autonomy and desire to preserve his personal space. It's not a lack of appreciation for those around him, but a way to stay true to himself and his needs for disconnection and rest. Some might interpret this disappearing act as a sign of disinterest, but it's quite the opposite. He understands that his well-being depends on balancing his time with others and his time alone. This is an important reminder for anyone. Taking a break to recharge isn't selfish, it's self-care. In your own life, you could apply this lesson by planning moments for personal retreat, even if just for a few hours a week, to disconnect from everything and recharge your spirit. Additionally, his ability to step away without guilt allows him to maintain a clear and focused mind. When he returns, he does so renewed, with a fresh perspective and energy that doesn't wear out easily. This balance between interaction and voluntary retreat gives him a strength that many desire but few practice. Wouldn't it be freeing to be able to take time for yourself without feeling obligated to explain it to anyone? It's one of the great freedoms that comes from knowing how to manage your personal space well. Quality relationships. The way the Sigma male listens is undoubtedly peculiar. While others are eager to speak or respond, he adopts a posture of active but selective listening. It's not that he's not paying attention, he's simply learned to filter information, focusing on what truly matters. This kind of man doesn't waste energy on conversations he considers empty or irrelevant. Instead, he absorbs only the necessary, the valuable. As if each word were a resource, he consciously decides whether or not to invest. It's a subtle act of emotional intelligence and self-care. This selective listening skill could be applied to anyone's daily life. Imagine that, instead of engaging in every conversation, you could filter only those that truly matter. This not only saves your energy, but allows you to focus on topics that truly enrich you. By practicing selective listening, you begin to discern what deserves your attention and what doesn't, freeing yourself from the constant noise surrounding everyday life. This is a skill that, once adopted, transforms the quality of your interactions. Some may see this attitude as detachment, but it's simply a way of self-protection. It's not that he ignores others, he's just learned that his mental peace is a priority and not every conversation adds value to his life. Far from being insensitive, This way of being allows him to build deeper and more authentic relationships with those who truly deserve his attention. Wouldn't it be a relief to set aside the noise and focus on what truly matters? It's a skill we could all develop to lead a more focused and satisfying life. Now that you know more about the Sigma male, ask yourself, what parts of his way of living could you incorporate into your own life? How many times have you felt that social pressure led you to act in ways that don't align with your true self? Perhaps this is the moment to start living more authentically, to value quality over quantity, and to prioritize your peace and personal freedom. Life is too short to get lost in noise and others' expectations. If this knowledge has resonated with you and you feel there's a force within you seeking something more, I invite you to take the next step. Subscribe to Sigma Male Official and activate notifications. Together, we'll keep uncovering the secrets of this lifestyle, and you'll discover how to live with an independence and clarity that few dare to reach. Are you ready to become the best version of yourself and be truly free?